Located off the shores of Nova Scotia, along Canada's Atlantic coast, Oak Island is among approximately 360 islands dotting Mahoney Bay. To the casual observer, the 140-acre island appears like many in this part of the province. Rocks and sand skirt the perimeter of the landmass, while native forest and brush cover much of its interior. At first glance, the seemingly mundane island conceals any evidence of historical importance. However, appearances can be deceiving. Despite the natural scenery and serene setting of Oak Island, the story of this island's past is replete with mystery, intrigue, and even tragedy. The potency of the story that follows has captured the human imagination and has driven men to their graves. From academics to adventurers, many have grappled with trying to explain the mystery, but none have been able to get to the bottom of the money pit of Oak Island. By most accounts, the story of Oak Island's money pit begins in the summer of 1795 when a teenager named Daniel McGinnis saw strange lights dancing on an island offshore from his parents' house. A minute and a half in, and we're already into UFOs. According to author Lee Lamb, upon investigating the island for the source of the lights, McGinnis noticed a peculiar circular depression approximately 13 feet in diameter on the island's forest floor. And looking around, McGinnis observed that a number of oak trees surrounding the depression had been removed. In addition, McGinnis saw that a block and tackle hung from a severed tree limb directly above the shallow hole. Although some researchers refute the presence of the block and tackle, whatever he witnessed that day convinced him that the scene was worth investigating. McGinnis decided to leave the island to enlist the help of two friends, John Smith and Anthony Vaughn. The following day, the three teenage boys began enthusiastically excavating the curious site. One of the reasons they were so excited to investigate a dirt depression on an otherwise nondescript island can be found in an enticing chapter in Nova Scotia's history. As described by the Maritime Museum of the Atlantic, the golden age of piracy occurred between 1690 and 1730. At this time, Nova Scotia had only a few European settlements with just over 200 nautical miles separating the remote bays of present-day Nova Scotia from the thriving. Pirates were known to frequent areas near Oak Island. The unpopulated wilderness of the region provided an abundance of natural resources to restock and repair their vessels, while its isolation proved an ideal place to harbor their vast stolen treasure. In fact, one notorious pirate, the infamous Captain Kidd, admitted to burying an unspecified wealth of treasure in the area before his capture in 1699. So John Smith was aged 19 and Anthony Vaughn was aged 16, and the three together dug with picks and shovels. They began one of the most famous treasure hunts of modern times that, has still yielded barely anything. Undoubtedly, the three must have thought that they were on the verge of discovering the treasure of Captain Kidd. Stories that the captain had buried a treasure hoard on an island east of Boston had been circulating since the 1600s. Legend had it that a dying sailor in the New England colonies confessed to being a part of Kidd's notorious crew, but he never named an exact location for the hidden treasure. The island that they were on was one of 300 small islands in the Mahoney Bay, and it was peanut-shaped and about 3/4 of a mile long and 1,000 feet wide. Cutting away the smaller trees, the three young men started digging in the hole, and after 2 feet, they hit a floor of carefully laid flagstones. And this type of slate was not found on the island, and the group figured it had been brought there from about 2 miles north. And below the stones, they saw that they were digging down a shaft that had been refilled. The walls of the shaft were scored with the marks of pickaxes, more evidence that the structure was the work of men. At the 10-foot level, they hit wood, and at first the group noticed that they had hit a treasure chest, but quickly realized that they had found a platform of oak and logs that had sunk into the sides of the shaft. Pulling up the logs, they discovered a 2-foot depression and more of the shaft. Continuing to dig, they finally reached a depth of 25 feet. At that depth, they decided that they could not continue without more help and better planning. Covering the pit over, they left, and one thing the three were sure of was that something must be at the bottom of the pit. They concluded that nobody would have gone to the trouble of digging a shaft deeper than 25 feet unless he had something very valuable to hide. So, we'll go into the first excavation in a later video, but one of the main problems with the money pit is, as we noted, right away you're starting off with UFOs and ominous activity and, like rumors and whatnot, right? So you're going off a pretty shaky foundation, and as we'll go on to see, there's been so many people, that's why this is called the money pit, that have thrown their hat into the ring to try to unbury this, that the site has been very much degraded and has honestly gone to, if there was something there, there's been so much excavation and whatnot that it probably got damaged, or if there was some vault, it like got sunk in and whatnot and got destroyed, or at least like the water that came from the booby traps has like been filling it in, right, and damaging the treasure and whatnot. But we'll get to that in later videos. This has been your host, Luke. Like this video if you liked it. Subscribe for more. I hope you guys have a great night. Thanks for watching. Bye.